colleagues from the World YMCA Alliance, dear colleagues from the World YWCA, our dear delegates of this visit, honorable guests. On behalf of the YWCA of Palestine, we thank you for coming here to experience and witness our daily life under occupation. This is a very large network of both men and women and youth, and I hope that the first thing that they will do is share what they have seen here, what they have witnessed, what they have experienced with the membership.
YMCAs and YWCAs, their main role is to work with the youth. And we know that the youth are the leaders of the future. And if we want to bring hope, then it's through these young people that through the YMCA and the YWCA, they will learn about the situation and they will influence their governments, their leaders, to help in making a change.
I want to experience what the Palestinians are experiencing. I've heard a lot about it. I've read about it. I've seen pictures. I've see it on the television all the time. And yet it's nothing like stepping on the soil, being with the people and listening to the heart cry of those who are affected by the conflict. And that's my expectation. I really want to experience what people here are going through day in and day out.
The pain of occupation, the settlements that are happening, the lack of access to basic services, especially for women and their children. This is the time when we needed the YWCA as a movement and the YMCA as a movement to solidly stand up together and come to this land to listen, to see what exactly is the situation, and to reflect together and say, what action do we have to take to support the programs of our member associations in this country, but also to raise the voice, to speak out in the international community about a real, durable, just solution.
Usually I give a short story when tourists come to our country. They ask them, after they leave, after 10 days tour, they go and write a book, How to Solve the Palestinian-Israeli Conflict. And then when they come and stay for us 6 months, one year, they go back and write an article of what to do with the Palestinian-Israeli conflict. And we who are living here and seeing the injustice, sometimes we don't know what to say. And this is part of really the complexity of our situation.
Complicated matter, but I always thought of Palestine as being kind of the bad guy. I always did, and I didn't think of the injustice. I didn't think of people not having freedom to move around. Things like going to work that should take 15 minutes and being held up for 4 hours at a checkpoint. Innocent people that should be able to just go about their business, not being able to move, not having access to health care, good water, things like that. It's shocking, and it's something that that I never knew about because I never read about, and just very different picture.
The most poignant thing that I have seen since I've been on the witness trip is going into the refugee camp in Jalazon and into the Ada camp, to see the women there with their children, to see what the people are living with, walking down the streets of Bethlehem and Hebron and seeing how people are so cruel and ugly to people that are not their kind.
And they start throwing stones at the children or while you're trying to open your shop.
I hadn't understood just the level in which there is a disregard for Palestinian way of life, particularly in some of the areas which we visited. Just walking through mesh over coverings over the market in Hebron, and seeing those bottles and seeing those bricks, it just showed a total disregard for Palestinian people by the occupiers.
Through the information that I have got, I see more and more that it's a question of discrimination, and then you have to put pressure on governments to change it.
Something I've learned, unfortunately, over the years is that governments will not do the right thing. Period. They won't. They didn't in the anti-apartheid struggle. They were the last ones to fall in place. Governments will not do the right thing unless they're pushed by the people. Only when we take the lead, civilian diplomacy, only when we assertively say to our governments and our political representatives in Congress, in parliaments, whatever, we want you to address this issue. And I would say this, not only for the sake of the Palestinians themselves, which is important enough, but also because this is a global conflict. This is not just a local tiff between Jews and Palestinians. This is a conflict that is destabilizing the entire international system.
I think we need to address the culture of fear and build the culture of solidarity, because it is the culture of solidarity that helps us to practically find solutions away from the comfort zones of our own neighborhoods, but to look at the world as our global neighborhood.
One of the most important things that people need to realize is the fact that the Palestinians' basic human rights are being violated daily, on daily basis, through different Israeli measures that one can feel at the checkpoints, one can feel when there are invasions or incursions here and there, one can feel when there are some Israeli measures against certain people, arresting people, demolishing houses. So these kind of things that touches the human dignity, that violate human dignity and life sanctity, are very much important for people to come and see.
It's the sheer illegality of this situation. There's nothing normal about this situation at all. When you go back home, they'll tell you, it's a difficult situation, and the Israelis, they've got their security to worry about and so on. This is an illegal situation.
And I'm sure the Palestinian children are thinking that. There is this wall. There must be something special on the other side.
We want this group to act. And they cannot act alone, we know. We would call on them to build bridges and mobilize people, wherever they are, to act with them to end this occupation.
I'm sure that every one of you will not be the same when you hear the word Palestine, when you hear the news about Ramallah. It will not be the same for you anymore.